Hey everyone, Omri here, and welcome to another video. Thanks for being patient. I spent the last month putting together and launching an online video on demand service for all my students. And there I post almost every single class that I teach during the week. It's an amazing resource. If you've never done video on demand classes, they're an amazing alternative to live classes. It's the same thing that we do live, but recorded for you to practice anytime. So today I want to talk to you about 6 months into the quarantine. What have I learned as a yogi, as a teacher, as a practitioner, as someone who does classes on Zoom? What are the things that I've learned? So the first thing I'd like to talk about is that I have a newfound appreciation for time. Time is the most important thing we have. I don't know if there was a cosmic reason for this to happen, but it really shows us what we can do with our time, how we can waste it, how we can use it successfully to create things, to make things. And all this time, we don't get it back. We get one shot at it. So I am now aware more than ever that time is the most important thing, the most important resource that I have, and I intend to use it the way I think is right. The second thing I want to talk to you about is having friends and family close is so important. And I don't mean close as in you can call them, but close that you can visit them, even with masks, even with social distancing. Spending time with the friends and the family that you love is also so important. And we've known this. We've known that having people around keeps us engaged and keep us stimulated and keeps us connected. But now, more than ever again, I feel how important it is to be able to reach out to people and say, hey, let's sit in the park together. Let's throw a frisbee. Let's do something where we remember that we're social creatures, that we need one another. These connections are one of the most valuable things we have. The next point I want to talk about is you think you know people, but sometimes, turns out, you don't. I know that in my family there are people who are at this point taking opinions who are not looked at very favorably by the rest of the family, and it's creating a lot of animosity, creating a lot of friction. This is a sticky point. When it comes to family, I personally have chosen to not discuss anything that might be contentious and remember that they are people that I love. And I just stay out of that completely. I believe that I need to do what I need to do, and I'm sure they feel like they need to do what they need to do. But I'm trying very hard for that not to stand in my way of loving them and accepting them. And I don't know what's going to happen if we ever actually open the subject and talk about it. I think no one's looking forward to that, and I think that's why everybody's avoiding it. I don't think at this point anyone can convince anyone of anything. So I just think that's something to remember, that people can surprise you for better or for worse, but to keep things in perspective and to try to remember that as a family, you should stick together and help each other, protect each other through bad and through great things. The next point I want to discuss is that I believe that the only way to transcend the current situation we're all in is to rise above, to not get mired down by all the negativity, to remember that the media has a job of engaging us. It wants to keep us interested, and as such, it's going to present us with whatever keeps us engaged, attracts us. And unfortunately, a lot of that stuff is negative. You know, a favorite yoga teacher of mine a long, long time ago told me that if he has nothing bad to say about someone, if he has nothing good to say about someone, excuse me, then he won't say anything at all. And I've pondered it for years. And even though that's a little bit different than what I'm talking about now, I liked the idea that he avoided the whole conversation to begin with. He didn't want to commit to one thing or another. He didn't want to say good or bad. Actually, if there was something good, he would probably say it. But it's best to think of things as we're all in this together. We're all in this together. And in order to transcend, in order to rise above, you have to be compassionate and empathetic and love people. Time and time again, we see stories in the media of enemies becoming friends when they find a common ground, when they find that they can bridge the gap, when they find that they can come together. A lot of that has to start with one person initiating and saying, you know what? I'm going to put all this aside. I'm going to try something else. So I encourage you all to remember, be kind, be empathetic, show love, rise above the situation, inspire people by doing that. Show them that you don't need to go negative, that you can stay positive, that you can look at the glass half full, that you can bring something good and new and fresh and keep people together. And that is going to be what makes everybody come together again. And the fifth and last thing I want to talk about is that Netflix is God sent. I don't know about you, but I have watched not everything. I have not seen Game of Thrones. And I know a lot of people, it's very controversial. I'm keeping that. Like my wife said, I'm keeping that to when there's really nothing else to do and I have all the time in the world. I'm sitting on the beach and I'm in a resort and I just want to watch something fun and entertaining and different. But I am really loving the fact that right now there's such great content out there. And it's not just Netflix, it's YouTube and it's websites and it's people being online and producing some really amazing content is an amazing thing. So observe, absorb, create, make, do something, contribute something that changes people's opinion, that changes people's minds. And even if all you want to do is sit and watch some amazing things on TV, just remember that years ago, none of this was available to us. When we were waiting for some place to go to a doctor, to an appointment, if there was a magazine, we were lucky there was a magazine, then we knew that, okay, we at least have something to do. Otherwise, we'd be twiddling our thumbs and looking at the ceiling. So everything is at our fingertips right now. Use it. Embrace it. Use it for good. That's my message for you for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow morning.